Alright, Shalom. This is Yasharan, the Sicilian brother from the GMS Great Waters Camp. So, you're gonna sit there and call me an Edomite or a cracker. Just fucking don't watch the video. Don't watch our channels. Don't watch no GMS videos. If you're gonna sit there and be a scoffer, then just go scoff somewhere else, man. But for you brothers that want to be edified, you know, then watch it. All you brothers that are spiritual minded, not stumbling over that stumbling block. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. I want to talk a little bit about doing the work, because got this situation with Russia and Ukraine going on, and you got Russia testing ICBMs and things of that nature. I mean, it's about to get real ugly soon. We will. To us, it's beautiful, but we're getting closer and closer to the kingdom. So we gotta pull out all the stops, man, and just labor, man, just labor, work. Because our salvation is getting close. The elect is about to get delivered the fuck up out of here. Lord's will, I'm in that number. But I want to get into the importance of teaching this word. This is Colossians 1:28, whom we preach, talking about Yahweh Shai, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect in HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Right, now how do we warn every man and how do we teach every man? By going out on the highways and the byways, going out to the street corners, going out to the chief concourse, the place of chief concourse in the cities, going to the gates of the cities, going to the streets and lanes of the cities, like it says in Luke 14:21. I believe that's the scripture. By posting videos on the internet, making lessons for brothers, even if it's just short lessons, they don't got to be nothing fancy. Just try and make them edifying. You don't need to make no you don't need to reinvent the wheel every time you make a video. You don't need to go super duper deep every time you make a video. All right. We were sent out here as a watchman, man. We're supposed to watch over our people and warn them about what's going down. All right. Like it says in the scripture that I'm about to go into next, neglect not the gift that is in me. Brothers that are out there teaching His word diligently, talking about the brothers that have the understanding of the scriptures. It's a gift, and you can't neglect it. Or HaMashiach Yahweh Shai is going to neglect you in that day. You can't be slothful. Like it says in the book of Proverbs, the desire of the slothful killeth him. Whereunto I also labor, striving according to His working, which worketh in me mightily. Right. That's proof right there. You gotta labor, man. Striving according to His working. What does that mean? That means that Yahweh Shai was teaching in the temple day and night, man. He was teaching all the time. So Paul was trying to follow his example. Paul did follow his example. Paul went through sheer hell just to teach His word. All the apostles went through sheer hell just to teach His word. All right. This is 1 Timothy 4:14. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. Right, neglect not the gift that is in thee, man. If you got the ability to make good lessons, on the computer, or good sit downs where you're getting deep into words, or some brothers have the gift of including deep historical lessons into their videos, and go ahead and do it. You know, uh, you can't really be wasting time now. Now ain't the time to be wasted, man. Because if you start slacking, you might get left behind for the missiles, man. The missiles, that fire's coming, man. That fire's about to come. All right. You know, the Lord is a power to be feared, man. All right. So don't neglect that gift that's in you, man. If you know, not every brother is skillful as other thing in certain aspects of the word and in this truth than others. Some brothers are good at finding news articles and breaking those down. Some brothers are gifted in prophecy. Some brothers know, you know, a lot about the Illuminati and Freemasons. Some brothers are good with the history. Some brothers are good with the Hebrew. You know, some brothers are good readers. Just whatever your gift is, try and excel at it and don't neglect it. Um, this is Matthew 9:37. I'll start at 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad, as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Right, we're supposed to be the laborers, man. The laborers are few. All right, you gotta be a laborer in this thing. That includes going out on the highways and byways, and that includes posting videos on the internet, man. You know, even if it's just, you know, even if you got new brothers in the camp, just hanging out with them and teaching them stuff. That's doing the work too. It's putting your labor in, man. All right, because a lot of you guys, you know, you got these guys that posted a comment on one of our videos about the Cornelius issue. The Lions Whelp, I think they are. They look like a bunch of simple dumbasses, but I sit there and I go to their page. I'm gonna go to their page real quick. I think this is their channel. See, man, these guys. Yeah, I know you can't see because I don't got it recording the whole screen, but um, you know, 11 months, right? Most of these videos are the same part. You know, like virgin birth. It's what, it's 6 parts right there. 7 months ago. So they got all these multi-part videos. They got 22 videos posted in 11 months. All right, 1 year, and they can't even post 25 videos. And most of them are just parts. You know, multi-part series. So they probably only got about like 7 or 8 actual series of videos in a whole year, man. These guys are not diligent. All right, you guys are not fucking diligent, man. You guys aren't workmen. You guys aren't laborers. You're full of shit. All right. You got brothers in GMS posting street videos every week, and they're doing sit downs every week. You know, sometimes a brother might just go on the highways 1 week and then not post any sit downs, but you know, he might come back the next week and post 2, 3 sit downs. You know, I mean, that's it. You know, he ain't posting one video a month. one 6-part video every month, man. It's not being a workman. It's not being a laborer in this truth. All right. This is Proverbs 6:6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Right. An ant works its tail off, man. Consider her ways, man. All right. An ant is a straight up laborer. Y'all should go on YouTube, or if you haven't already seen something on Animal Planet about ants, man. Ants just work their tail off. You know, they don't rest. They live to work. All right, that's how we gotta be. I mean, I know it's hard sometimes because brothers got uh, some brothers got families and jobs, and just this society is just tiring, man. It wears you out. The food you eat ain't really food. You eat isn't really food. The water you drink isn't really water. Uh, you you're fucking breathing in all this depleted uranium from the snow. You're breathing in all this pollution. Everything's polluted and disgusting. It takes a lot out of you, man. We're just walking balls of toxic waste, really, from all the shit that they're putting in the food, man. Everything is Frankenstein in this society, man. You got Franken foods, Franken water, and Franken air. All right, and it might be hard sometimes, but you just gotta put that aside and push, man. Just push, you know. I know it's hard to keep your energy level up. You got a lot going on in your life, and this food and everything just drains you. People don't have the energy levels that they used to. They're putting estrogens in everything, anti-testosterone agents and everything. But you got to find a way, man. The elect is gonna find a way, because that's what this is about. This is about the elect. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 15:9. For I am the least of the apostles. This is Paul speaking. That am not meet to be called an apostle. So the apostle Paul was saying he wasn't even worthy of being called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of the Most High. By the grace of the Most High I am what I am, and his grace which was bestowed upon me was not in vain. But I labored more abundantly than they all. Yet not I, but the grace of the Most High which was with me. All right? He labored more abundantly. All right? That matters a lot, man. Like that's why the elders are the top men in this thing, man. That's why the elders of GMS are the top men in this thing, because they labored more abundantly than everybody else. All right? They got decades in this truth, and they work hard in this truth. All right? Just like Paul did, they labored more abundantly than they all. He labored more abundantly than they all. All right? He went from not even being considered an apostle to being one of the 12 disciples, man. In fact, I'm gonna look up that word labor.
Strong's G 2872, Kapiao. Kapiao.
Copiao. To grow weary, tired, exhausted, with tired burdens of grief. To labor with wearisome effort. To toil of bodily labor. All right? So Paul labored with wearisome effort. He labored until uh, labored until he was weary, man. You know, this isn't our place of rest. We got to be like that too. All Alright? He labored and taught this word until he was worn out. So we got to do that. That's the example that was set. Yahweh Shai also set that example. Alright? 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Right, so even when you're not out there on the streets and doing videos, you gotta be studying, man. That's part of being a workman too. Doing your research. Alright? Making sure that you're getting the full breakdowns. Looking up the words. Next scripture is 1 Corinthians 9:16. This is also the words of Paul. Though I preach the gospel, right? See how he's preaching the gospel? I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. It's just like I've been saying the whole lesson, man. It's necessary to teach this word, man. You're commanded to. Alright? Necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. We know that the word woe means destruction. Alright? So destruction is unto me if I preach not the gospel. Alright, Baloo? Because you ain't really preaching the gospel, man. You just make a video after video after video after video of GMS. You ain't edifying nobody. You ain't preaching the gospel. You ain't going on the highways when it's cold and teaching. Alright? It's March. Alright? It's March already. And I bet you ain't gonna gonna be out there teaching. I bet you ain't gonna be out there teaching in the month of March unless it gets fucking 80 degrees. Which it most likely isn't. I ain't never seen it 80 degrees in March. Maybe 60s, 70s. Alright? So woe unto you, man, because you're not preaching the gospel. Alright? A lot of you scoffers, you don't preach the gospel. You just go on the comment board and you leave stupid comments on every single video. Like a bunch of kids, man. It's childish. That's some childish ass shit. That's why I don't respond to none of your comments, man. I might respond once in a while. It's for shits and giggles or whatever. Or if y'all are making an accusation that isn't true, like upstate dumbass does. Alright, like Esau does. Upstate Israelite Esau. Alright, you ain't preaching the gospel, man. You ain't making no videos. 14th Street is a sluggard, and he's more diligent than you. Alright, you ain't making no videos edifying nobody. You ain't teaching nothing. You ain't going on the highways. All you're doing is leaving the same comments, just copying and pasting the same comments over and over again on our videos, man. And on our GMS videos in general. Alright? Lord's going to destroy you, man. Because destruction is unto you. Alright, I got this last scripture and we'll close up. But by now, you new brothers coming in, because there seems to be a lot of new brothers, a wave of new brothers coming in. It's like there is every year after the Passover, a bunch of brothers fall off. Or so-called brothers fall off, they get kicked out, and then a new wave comes in, A bunch of sheep could return to the flock. Alright? So I hope that this is edifying you brothers about the importance of doing this work and staying in this work and being diligent in this work. Like the scriptures say, give diligence to make that calling and election sure, man. Alright? Baloo, you ain't diligent. Upstate Israelite, you ain't diligent. Alright? Shakat 7, you're not diligent. Alright? Bloody sweat, tears, boxing, whatever the fuck you are. You ain't diligent. Do a da, whatever the fuck. You don't even know the Hebrew. You got like 5 different names. One week you're with the elders, the next week you're not. The next week you're an Egyptologist. Now you're a Hebrew Israelite again. You leave comments on our videos. You simple ass fucking coon. You're not diligent. You ain't making no videos, man. You making videos about boxing. You fucking scoffer. Alright? And then you go to brothers and channels and you kiss their ass on their videos. Alright? You might be an agent, man. You're playing the role of a serpent, a fucking black serpent, saying that you're in you're in South America, and then like you change your username. Before you were from England, and now you're from like South America. You keep changing your username, but I know it's you, man, because you got the same videos up there. You can't keep changing your username and thinking that we're not going to catch on to your shit, man. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servants shall eat. Right, his servants. What does it mean to serve? Alright? Think about when you go to your job. You're being a servant. Alright? When you're on the clock, that's why bosses say when you clock in that you're on their time. That's why they got that card machine. You're on their time. You're a servant. From the time that you swipe that time card to the time you swipe it again and leave, you're a servant. Alright? We're Yahweh Shai's servants. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's servants. Alright? And his servants are going to eat. But ye shall be hungry. Right? All you guys that half-ass this truth, all you 2/3 out there, you're going to go hungry. Alright? Once all hell breaks loose, you're going to be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Alright? You guys are going to be ashamed in that day. But we're going to rejoice because we're looking for the coming of Yahweh Shai. Alright? Because when Yahweh Shai, when the time of Yahweh Shai is close, when the hour of martial law hits, we're going to be rejoicing because we know that our salvation is near. You know? We're going to be looking for him. You guys are going to be ashamed because you're going to have all these thoughts in your head like, man, I could have done this video, I could have done that video, I could have went into the highways more. You know, you could have did this, you could have did that, you could have done the other thing. But no, man, a lot of you guys, you either fell out, you didn't get this truth, period, or like Upstate Dumbass and like Baloo, you just weren't fucking diligent, man. So you're going to be ashamed in that day because you guys know you could do so much more, man. Alright? But you guys don't got the understanding anyways, but that is what it is. The Most High is just not dealing with you. Alright? Well, that pretty much wraps it up. With that, I'm going to say shalom.